I'm fine.
Four Bournemouth shows, four sellouts, four wins for Chris Billam-Smith. Recap the night.
Yeah, I mean, the atmosphere does get better every time. It is pretty incredible. I've never seen a fan base like it, but it wasn't the most enjoyable night at times. It wouldn't be Chris Billam-Smith without making hard work of it at times, and it was a great fight. I think Masternak deserves a lot of credit. What a career he's had, and he was definitely caused some problems early on. But I think, speaking to Shane even beforehand, they knew that the later rounds was where Chris was going to come into his own, and in the end managed to get a finish. And yeah, heart goes out to Masternak. He's waited all his career for a world title shot, and unfortunately came up short tonight. But another incredible night. The journey continues for Chris Billam-Smith. Hopefully we'll be back here very soon. But yeah, thank you to all his fans, because they really do make these nights extremely special, and yeah, a very good fight.
Now, you talked about the journey that you had with CBS. You guys started together. You guys wanted to bring boxing back to Bournemouth. You've now done it. You've displayed Bournemouth on Sky Sports and NBC, and you've shown it to the world. You've helped bring a world championship back to Bournemouth. I'm sure a lot of people are thinking about what's next. I know we'd want to relish in tonight's win, but anything moving forward that you can think about?
Honestly, I think it's a bit unfair to Chris that I think he's had that was a tough night's work, and he deserves it. It's almost a bit of a pinch yourself. Being sat up here with Chris as a defending world champion from where we were, it's incredible. It really is. So I think he just has to look at how far this journey has come and how far he's come to be sat here as a genuine world champion, having beaten two world-class opponents. I think that was the focus of tonight, to show he's world level, to show he's world class, to show Lawrence Okoli night wasn't a one-off, wasn't the atmosphere, wasn't, you know, at that time Lawrence Okoli was considered the best cruiserweight in the world, and he proved tonight again against another very good opponent. So I think he needs to enjoy this, enjoy Christmas, and just look at how far he has come, because what a journey it is, and it goes on as well, which is even more incredible.
I'll come to Chris last, of course, but Shane, we talked about the growth of Chris Billam-Smith. You talked about how much he grew when he defeated Lawrence Okoli to win the belt. Now in his first defense, what did you want to see from him tonight, and did you see it from him tonight?
Yeah, listen, I mean, you know, there was parts of the fight that he looked clumsy and he didn't look his best, but I said to him afterwards, you're going to watch that back and you're going to be frustrated, because once he really switched himself on in the 6th and 7th, it was just how he needed to approach it. And I think, you know, in the first round he started well, then you know, he switched off in the second, caught him with a big shot, I think it was in the third, a right hook over the top, and then just started looking for it. And that's what you can't do with a wily old fox as defensively sound as Masternak. You know, a guy that's just knows how to get out of the way of shots and knows how to smother and you know, nullify people's work. And I think it was frustrating at times watching Chris trying to load up with big shots, but you know, he flipped the switch, and that's what champions do. And you know, people always look from the outside and think, oh, you know, it didn't look the best, or you know, there was moments there, and it's like, yeah, but he keeps winning, and you know, and that's the difference. You know, the difference is the champions can turn it around, and they can also, you know, feed off the crowd. And it's very hard to make what he's made of, and that stuff is just it's inbuilt, and extremely proud of him.
Absolutely, Chris. You had your first world title win. Now you have your first world title defense. Again, I'll start with an open-ended question. How do you feel?
Yeah, I'm obviously pleased with the win, pleased with the stoppage. Best job anyone's ever done on him. You know, not my best performance, but you know, I did a lot of stuff really well in there and adapted well through the fight. And pleased as a whole. You know, like I said, not the best version of me, and I'm still doing the best job on someone like Masternak, who started boxing in 2005 as a pro, and I started boxing in 2007 as a keep fitter at the time. So it's crazy. He's been a pro, you know, my entire amateur and pro career, and I've watched him, you know, through the years. I have so much respect for him, and you know, feared him going into the fight, rightly so, because of the experience and everything he's done in the game. And it was an honour to share the ring with him. And so for me to go and do that on a, you know, not my best performance, and to still get that job and still learn through a fight and do all that and stop him in the 8th or end of the 7th is a great achievement, which I'm really proud of.
You look at your last 2 fights, obviously when you won the title, kind of an awkward style opponent that you were facing, some great physical intangibles, and then tonight, much more experienced opponent, crafty, wily foxes, McGuigan called him. So when you look at your growth as a fighter, are you happy to face these unique opponents as you go on your own journey as a champion?
Yeah, for sure. You know, I'm not in this game for easy pickings. I never have been. I've taken hard fights throughout. Since, you know, the Richard fight, everyone thought Richard was going to blow me away, and it was a close decision. And then the Craig Glover fight, it was a hard fight, and you have Tommy McCarthy, you have Chamberlain on 6 weeks' notice, you know, good fighters. And then Lawrence for a world title, who's never looked like getting close to getting beaten, and then I drop him in numerous times and win the world title. Then I fight Masternak. So I'm so pleased with the growth of my career, and they're the fights you've got to have. We've seen other fighters, even in my division, jump from one level to the next, and where my career's gone, it's been obviously superbly managed by the McGuigans, but you know, us as a team, it's the perfect career, and we're learning still. 20 fights in, and to be able to learn in a world title defence and know there's so much more is exciting.
Well, congratulations. You guys have heard me talk enough. Open it up to questions. We do have a mic being passed around a little bit, so just raise your hand or speak up.
Chris, would you like to walk out and chin someone in a couple of rounds and not have any scratches, or would that bore you?
That's a good question, Wally. I mean, yeah, I'd like that, and probably liked it too much. I think try to force it a bit too much tonight to begin with. But yeah, no, I've learned, and yeah, it'd be nice to get up. I mean, I don't think I'm not sure how possible that is against someone like Masternak. Anyway, but yeah, you know, maybe next one.
There were a couple of worrying moments. We were sat behind James' corner where it looks like you're looking over. And that you're worried or you're all at sea. Is that just an expression that you sometimes have maybe at home, or are you always calm in there?
No, I felt really calm in there. I felt really calm and controlled in there, and the punches weren't doing any damage to me in terms of, like, I wasn't buzzed or anything like that. I felt probably too comfortable, and that's probably why I was, you know, switching off a little bit at times and trying too hard. But you know, I found my feet in the 6th and 7th, and I was really excited for the last 5 rounds. I really wanted to start, because I knew then what I needed to do, and I was like, okay, now I can start turning the screw. And I was like, within 3 rounds, I'll get him out of there. And then obviously he pulled out.
Chris, you said you obviously got a break and you're going to have your Christmas and whatnot, but we're always thinking about what's next. Richard's here, probably going to be called as mandatory. IBF is now vacant, we think. What do you think? What would you anticipate would be next? What would you like next if you could pick?
If I could pick, well, get the IBF on the line and fight Richard, that'd be great. Not sure how possible that'd be with governing bodies and whatnot, but that'd be great, yeah. I don't really care who it is next, but I care where it is, and it's got to be down here, because you can't turn down that atmosphere. The atmosphere's phenomenal. There's not a crowd like it at the moment in the UK. There really isn't. You get like general fans, but there's no town that gets behind their fighters like this lot. They're phenomenal. So I don't care who it is next, or you know if there's any other belts on the line or not. But as long as it's in Bournemouth, I'm a happy man.
Will it be stadium again?
I'd love that again. I mean, crazy that I got the chance.
You're too big for this now, really.
Yeah, definitely. You know, ideally we'd get a bigger arena. I think everyone would prefer that, selling out 4 weeks in advance. But yeah, the stadium, obviously, you probably have to wait towards the end of the season, which I don't know when that is this year. Probably second weekend in May or something like that. But but yeah, I'd love the opportunity to do the stadium again. I was so fortunate and grateful to have it once.
Did you, last one, did you ask Kano to wrap you out? That was it.
I asked him originally for the Chamberlain fight, and then he said it wasn't his thing, so I never asked again. But grateful, obviously, that he turned up tonight and came to support.
Question for Shane: should Masternak choose to continue, how do you feel he fares against those who are chasing Chris, given the successes he had on the night?
People chasing Chris as in the whole division.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know how much he's got left. You know, when a fighter of his toughness and ilk decides to pack it in after 7 or 8 rounds, it's, you know, that one of his biggest attributes was his toughness and his ability to stay consistent throughout the round. So, yeah, I think some fighters have a great career, and then there's one fight that takes all their soul, as it were. So it's a bit of a mad saying, but I think that fight there just shows you that, you know, I don't think he'll ever be the same after that. And also quickly, I want to just say a big thank you to Ben Schlom and Boxer for putting their faith into this man, because, you know, we've been banging the drum, us as a team and a management, for years, trying to get a showcase of a headline come down here, and also Sky Sports to be able to put the faith in him. So thank you, Ben, and thank you, Sky.
Chris, how proud are you to be part of what's one of the most memorable sporting weekends in Bournemouth after what happened yesterday as well?
Yeah, up the cherries. Unbelievable yesterday, obviously 3-0 win against away at Old Trafford. Not many teams get to boast that. I then felt the pressure a little bit to top off the weekend, and you know, go into this week as a happy town. So seen a couple of the players earlier, not to talk to, just in the crowd. So grateful for them for coming, and yeah, I'm honoured to be part of this town and what's going on in it at the moment from a sporting perspective. The last 10 years in the football, you know, or probably beyond that, has been crazy. Obviously, a massive place in my heart for the club. And then I got to obviously win a world title there, and now defend it on a weekend, which is an epic result at Old Trafford. So truly honoured to be part of this, and very lucky.
And as you said that now, how do you sum up 2023, given what happened in the summer and a defence tonight? You've obviously got a few weeks now to reflect. As you said that now, how do you sum up this past 12 months for you?
Yeah, I mean, last year was a pretty good year. You know, I had three fights, and we got the home shows in Bournemouth thanks to Ben and Sky, and then my son was born, and then this year I win a world title and then get to defend it and just have a whole town behind me, and it's just I'm so fortunate. I'm living my dream, and not many people get to do that. So yeah, I've got an amazing wife, amazing child, amazing family, a world champion, and yeah, it's still a bit of a pinch me situation in terms of I need to really be grateful for it, and I truly am.
Chris, obviously, if you do go on and the Riakporhe fight gets ordered and you do fight him, it obviously does bring 2 fan bases together again, doesn't it? In Cherries and Palace. Cherries obviously did a job on them last week and stuff.
I'm not sure about that Palace fan base.
I was going to say, do you believe it? I was going to say, do you believe it?
I've got pictures of him. I've got pictures of him in a Millwall shirt and saying I'm Millwall and all sorts. So he shouldn't be going down that route with this, trying to steal Ellie Scotty's fan base. Yeah, but nonetheless, it would be fun. What was the score we played the other night, didn't we? So yeah, so sounds about right. What was the score? 2-0, was it?
2-0. I was going to ask you about that, how much you believe it, but obviously you've just answered my question.
Yeah, no, I mean I don't believe it. Otherwise, I would have given him some grief about it on social media. But no, it's all good fun and games.
Chris, one of the few sort of fighter fan base comparisons that could be made is perhaps like Josh Warrington, who's obviously a bit older and done more, but he's at a stage in his career now where he's really gutted that he's never fought in America. You know, he feels like he's done his hometown enough. Do you ever feel like that might happen to you? It sounds like the minute like you never want to leave.
I'm so lucky to have it. Like, to fight. I've for years I wanted to have my have a fight down here, and then it's exceeded all expectations in terms of the fights I've had, the atmospheres they've created. Like I've always said, I got into the sport because of atmosphere. I was chanting my mate's name, a group of us chanting my mate's name. I was like, I'd love a bit of that. And I get my whole town behind me. It's just absolutely mental. And yeah, you know, I mean, I'd love to fight over there in America at some point, but I'll never ever feel like I've done this too much in this hometown. Yeah, I mean,
Vegas to Las Vegas.
Yeah, Las Vegas to Las Vegas. Me and Shane, the first time I ever saw Shane was actually at the Mayweather Canelo fight, September 2013, and Shane sort of gave me a wave. He obviously didn't know who I was because I wasn't anybody. But Barry stopped and had a conversation with us like he does with everyone, because he's always happy to talk to fans. And me and my brother stopped and had a little chat, and then and Barry wouldn't remember it because he does it most days. I do remember. But yeah, I mean, Vegas or you know, New York would be phenomenal. But I'll never ever get bored of fighting in front of that fan base.
I can say that America would love to have you. That's for sure.
I hope everyone enjoyed it on NBC Peacock. I know got a few mates out there who watched it, so shout out to any American fans. I hope they enjoyed the fight.
All right, guys. Well, let's. I think the champ wants to celebrate with his family, so thank you all for coming. Really appreciate it. One more round of applause for the defending champion and still, Chris Billam-Smith.
I'm fine.